Welcome to the Political Pour Up Podcast.
Grab a drink, pull up a chair. Grab a drink. This the Political Pour Up. Because we don't need a drink for this.
Hello, and welcome to the Political Pour Up Podcast. I'm Sue.
I'm Jazz.
And I'm Jen.
And we are three friends who love to talk about politics and love even more nowadays to have a cocktail while we do it, because that's the only way we're going to get through.
You gotta take the edge off.
I need a drink. I need one now. I need
kind of like how we got through COVID. Like
they knew immediately.
A lot of
alcohol.
Only essential businesses, liquor stores.
They knew better than to close the liquor stores,
right. Or the dispensaries.
And they probably opened a couple up during the pandemic,
right?
Because they knew people. It's a time.
The dispensaries are like,
we are in trying times.
This to you can do a pickup. You just do outside. Just come pick it up.
Times have been trying since 2020.
I tell you,
It just felt like an ongoing dumpster fire.
Well, we got a little break.
Rolling down a hill.
Yeah.
We got a little break.
Towards a gasoline.
When Biden was elected, I felt like I could sleep again at night without worrying that.
We did for them years, but not since January. We're
back to.
Well, it's only been what? Now it's 9 months.
9 months?
Damn, it's October.
8. Oh, you're right. It's October.
So here it is, October 3rd. Mean Girls Day.
What day is it?
It's October 3rd.
And he asked me what day it was.
I love Mean Girls, and I do not remember that part of the movie.
Okay,
What?
Let me line it up for you. Caddy. So,
It's Katie.
When she was sitting behind, what's his name? What's it, Zac Efron? Whatever who it was that played that guy.
That was not Zac Efron. That was, I forgot.
High School Musical dude? Where was he from?
I don't remember. He was from Mean Girls.
Okay, so I can't think of his name, and I can't think of what else he's from. But
He asked
love
her
interest of the movie. She
Yes.
was sitting behind him, and she was talking about how she had a crush for him, but she thought he liked her. And she was like, I remember exactly what day it was. She was like, "How you?"
On October 3rd.
She was like, "Because
he asked me what day it was." It's October 3rd.
That's a classic.
Yes.
But I wanted things to move faster. But yeah, so October, we took a little break from our podcasting responsibilities.
Still fucked that up.
No, that's what they used to call them on Rugrats. They call them responsibilities.
I watched a lot of Rugrats. You just messed me up.
I think it was the episode where they was trying to be adults, or they. It's like,
but I don't remember them having the real. I thought it was like
no, it was responsibilities or something like that. Whatever. Yes, we took a break, a little longer than a regular break, but
turned into 2.
I needed some time.
A break.
We went on vacay. We just lifed.
Yeah, life was cool.
And life has not stopped lifing since we lifed 2 months ago. And yeah.
So in the
what's going on?
What you been up to?
Let's see, before we get into the politics of it all. So last month was, it was actually, I don't want to recap the whole summer, but it was a good summer. Capped it off with husband's 40th birthday trip.
Whoop, whoop. Where'd y'all go?
DR.
Okay. You said, just DR.
It wasn't as far as I would like, but it was enough.
Where do you want to go?
Did it require a passport stamp? Far enough.
Yeah, I know. But
Facts.
So right, true. But it was good. It was a good trip, intimate group. We had a good time. We had a really, really good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We need all the joy.
Yeah.
We went on a cruise. The cruise was good. But we were on Royal Caribbean, and the hurricane was in the water, in the ocean. And we weren't able to go to Nassau, so we could only go to Royal Caribbean's little island. So
really?
That's the only time we got off the boat. But it was cool. There's a lot of stuff to do on the boat.
Yeah.
You went somewhere too. Where'd y'all go? Y'all Puerto Rico, or was that was earlier in the summer?
Puerto Rico, like right before July 4th, which was
that's right. Yeah.
Looked dope.
And other than that, we've just done like some little stuff to visit family, like in PA.
That's right, because you always out of the.
We're always somewhere. We're always going somewhere. We usually just go visit family and like have a good time and just like hang out or like get together for a fight or to watch a fight.
Right, get together
for a fight.
Right.
We get together like watch fights or like watch like certain football games or big matches.
Nice.
The last one we got together for was the Terrence Crawford fight, I think, where he won against Canelo.
It was Canelo, yeah.
So it was great, and then I did the food for it. So
of course I
was feeling, I was feeling the vibes. So still in my Puerto Rican mindset, and also, still enjoying the vibes. So I did a little arroz con gandules. We did a skirt steak with a little chimichurri, which is not Puerto Rican, but I like it anyway. And then I mixed it up and did a couple like American/Italian things for apps. What did I do? Oh, my meatball sliders that I did a couple years for Super Bowl.
Oh, girl, you killed those. Those were so good.
I ran
that was
back.
Actually a pretty legendary menu we put together for Super Bowl.
There was so much food.
Yeah, and I even did the buffalo chicken dip this time.
Ooh,
yeah,
sounds good.
I was feeling like let's have some apps, and then let's have some dinner with the fight because the fight is so late. So yeah, but that was kind of
I was asleep. I missed it.
But I'll tell you what else I enjoyed before we came back that reminded me of that, as well as my trip earlier this summer, was watching that Bad Bunny stream on Amazon. Oh, my God.
I didn't catch that.
I watched the whole concert. Well, I missed the first part because I forgot it was on, and then I saw it at my husband's cousin's stories. And I was like, oh, my God, I hope I didn't miss it. It was 5 hours. I don't think it went off to like 1:30.
What?
At 8:30. I don't think it went off to like 1:30. I caught it at like 10.
Where was he performing from? Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
It was
nice. An extra tour date from his tour dates in Puerto Rico. So it was the whole setup.
Oh, wow.
Like the actual concert with the casita. And like, oh my God. When I tell you, I don't know, my neighbors be so loud they on my nerves. So I had the TV all the way up. It was a concert in my living room.
Well, he was teeing up for the Super Bowl debut.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait for Super Bowl.
Yes. That's gonna be fun.
Do you understand? I might have my whole outfit on and everything.
I know that's right.
For Super Bowl. I really might.
That's exciting.
It is.
I'm glad they paid. Somebody told me
the night of Super Bowl.
Yeah,
because it's a Bad Bunny concert.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. I was singing along.
I'm not gonna know what. I'm just gonna be.
That's all. That's all you need to do. Is like I'm not gonna know not one word, but
you're gonna be there for the vibe.
But here's the thing: if you really want to, you could really just turn your closed caption and put it on the language that you want to put it in. Boom bow.
Boom bow.
But what I heard also brought to the forefront that somebody was like, "This actually might be a genius marketing plan," because Apple has their new AirPods, and their new AirPods are supposed to translate in live time.
Oh.
So if you have the AirPods, then you can hear everything he's saying. Or you could put on a closed caption, or just read the lyrics later and just vibe.
We're going to figure it out, because I'll be right there, baby.
Yeah, but I did enjoy that. That was my at-home concert, and then I got a chance to go see Maxwell while he was here with the live band, which was an awesome date night. Even though they had to put the drunk man out in the suite next to us. He was sold out before the show started. And it was
not before the show.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I thought he was going to fall over the balcony because he ain't his drinking.
Yeah, it was a good music summer. It was hot, so the weather was summering. Now we're in the fall, and with fall comes, especially in DC, a lot of political activism because there's usually an election. There is an election coming up, even though it's off year in November. So the fall is just a really interesting time especially in the DMV area where it's just
season.
It's convention season.
As one in that time.
It is just advocacy season. So much going on. Because Jen, you just went to something too on the Hill. Was it? It was on the Hill.
Yes, it was in the Russell Senate building. which was really cool.
Fancy.
Yeah. I got to see, like, you know, in the rotunda where you see when MSNBC or CNN is getting like their live takes when the Senate is taking a break or whatever. Like you can see all the press stands set up. That was really cool. So I was really excited. I went to an event called D9 Politics and Power. It was a night with Senator Angela Also Brooks and
whoop, whoop.
Nice.
Yes.
From Maryland.
Whoop, whoop. Yes. And other leadership from like DC and Maryland, D9 organizations. And it was just a message about like purpose and unity and just, you know, the moment we're in. And I saw that even in CBC, which I'm sure you'll talk about later, some of the themes that she talked about that night, she carried through to, or CBC in general, just like about being made for the moment.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That was
it was really impactful. I was just honored to be in the room, but it was also very informative. You know, she just got us together to talk about things that she was doing in Congress. She did a huge question and answer segment, but first she started out by just talking about the way the administration's policies are affecting people, and a lot of people don't even realize it. Mm-hmm. The first thing she talked about were the insurance premiums, which we'll get into when we talk about the shutdown later, and the fact that insurance premiums were set to rise and people don't know. You know, she talked about education. She talked about the economy, which was also her message to, you know, D9 ambassadors and just active, like those of us in the room, is like, this administration does not want us to be talking about this failing economy, and we need to talk, and that is, we need to be laser focused because the economy touches everybody. Yeah. And that's what we need to be doing.
And that's why they voted for him. Apparently that's what they said.
Yeah, because, you know, your gas was too expensive and your eggs were cheap.
The eggs.
I guess now they're okay with short-term suffering.
A little pain. So it was good. She also went down like things she's been doing in Congress. She touched on the unemployment, the fact that the unemployment rate, although it's hovering around 4% for Americans in general, for African Americans is 7%. Mm-hmm. And 319,000 Black women have been laid off from their jobs since February. So we talked about that and what things she's doing and what we can be doing to kind of shoulder this crisis. And so I know she co-sponsored a bill with Tim Scott to provide tax breaks to small businesses in cosmetology. She's also on the market. Tim
Scott, the Republican? Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, well, look at that.
From South Carolina? Yes. You don't say.
You don't say. A bipartisan effort to get something done for the
Where
American
they do that
people.
at?
Yeah.
Bipartisan.
What a novel concept. So she's also on the market structure team with 11 Democrats. And she's working on a homeless bill with Katie Britt from Alabama. So
another Republican. Look at Angela.
Look at Angela
across the
aisle. Okay, because if you really care about the American people, that's what you do. That's what you do if you want to improve the lives of everyone.
That part.
So, you know, then we talked about the housing crisis, and she's going to be working on some bills to address that. And she said for the first time in 14 years, they passed a bill to incentivize banks to actually provide funding for people who are aging in their homes, which, as you know, is very relevant to my life. To provide them with, you know, loans and things they need to kind of rehabilitate your home so that you can stay in it and you can age in it and you can grow.
Amazing.
So yeah,
is that bipartisan too, or is that?
I believe so. All of her efforts, I believe, were bipartisan. Because I don't think there's. I'm sure this affects both parties.
We all got parents.
We all have parents, and yeah. And more people, like I know in my county, that's the fastest growing population is 16 over. Mm-hmm. And people are staying in their homes.
Or would like to if they
would like to, correct. So yeah, you know, Angela's up there getting it done like Black women do.
I love that. So for our listeners who may not know what D9 is, would you explain what D9 is?
Okay, so the D9 is short for the Divine Nine, which are the 9 organizations that make up the National Panhellenic Council. Mm-hmm. So those are Black fraternities and sororities. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. However, my views on this podcast are mine and mine only. So I want to say that because all of the D9, right? Disclaimer. Correct. But yes, I wanted to say that point too, because D9 organizations are nonpartisan.
Yes, they are.
So, you know.
But they align with the the needs and values of the communities
Correct.
in which they are
Serving
and which they were born out of.
Correct.
I mean, some were founded on campuses of HBCUs.
Absolutely.
One in particular being Howard University.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they are a part of the culture very much so. Also, this month was the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation's annual legislative conference. They have it every year in September. And this year, and it's always in Washington, D.C., so it's always here at home. And this year was a very good turnout. The city was lit, as it always is for CBC. There's a lot of people.
It was lit in the city.
I saw on social media, like, oh, it's my first CBC and, all that. And that's awesome and everything. And we did the calculations on how many CBCs we have been to. Those of us who were interning on the Hill in college, which was a while ago, and 17 years of CBC. I was like,
she just had the numbers. Specific. So we don't have to get the numbers.
I mean, that's what I was like. No, it's like 10. No, bitch. 17 years. I was like, no wonder I'm over it. So we didn't do as many events as we usually do. And, just being in the city overall, the energy just has been a little down we'll talk about all the things that we missed while we were out having fun in DR and on cruise ships and shit. The city was, there were some very unfortunate things going on. So, DC has been, there's been like a little dark cloud, that's been trying to like shade all of the joy, but I'm glad that they had a really awesome turnout for ALC 2025. As you mentioned, the theme of the conference was made for this moment: power, policy, and progress. Mm-hmm. And if there's anything that we can attribute to the Black community, and especially in moments like this, it is progress and resilience, and knowing that it might be a very dark time, but I think if anything, the conference always shows that there are people who are still fighting, and the young people who are around, they're still engaged, and they're newly engaged, and it's not over. So
at all.
It was really awesome to see. Wes Moore received an award at the Phoenix Awards, and Joe Edie from the Win with Black Women received an award as well. And Kamala was there. She also received some awards. So it was a really awesome time. And if you're in DC next year, definitely a must-attend week of celebration and productivity, because it's not just parties. It's actual work. But, just good to have a moment of joy amidst all of the chaos that is happening.
Say that.
So, yeah.
'Cause that's also a form of resistance.
Mm-hmm. It is. And so we just have to keep everything in perspective. Also, during the fall season, talk about big conventions. The UN General Assembly meets in New York at the UN. That's where they meet, right?
Yes, at the UN building in New York is where they assemble.
The United Nations, for their annual summit. Mm-hmm. And this year's summit was
embarrassing.
Momentous
on the world stage.
Before we get into the downfalls of it, I will say the silver line of it is that Colombia's president came here and ripped America and Israel a new asshole.
Sure did.
And then afterward proceeded to go out on the street and speak it to the people. And then they were like,
they were rallying against it. Right.
He's like, I was already on my way home.
Right. Bye, motherfuckers.
I've
been kicked out of better places.
Yeah,
sure have.
And today or something, with something that was announced with Israel, he was like, we ain't trading with them. No, he already said we're not trading with them no more. We're cutting off all our trades. And then he kicked out the last remaining Israeli diplomats that were there.
Oh, wow.
He sent them out of the country. The ones that hadn't been sent home before, he expelled them. He's serious.
Don't let the doorknob hit you. Yeah, he is. Right, exactly. We need that energy.
Yes.
But
that's that energy that they try and get up out of. That's why they like war against cartels. We're just going any way they speak Spanish and call it cartels.
Right.
And take over. That's how they stabilize all those people when they get people that start talking like that and looking out for the people.
Back to the UN.
The UN.
And
for people who didn't catch it, yes. Where do we start?
Well, we'll just start with embarrassing Trump, which
I just pictured an escalator.
I mean, the irony that he tried to manufacture 2 crises at the UN that he said he wanted to pull out of. He had to go there. He tried to manufacture 2 crises. One saying that the elevator stopped and whoever's fault that is, their heads going to roll.
Well, it did stop.
But it was come out that there was actual footage of someone on his
team stopping it.
Running ahead of him on the elevator, hitting the button, and it's stopping.
Yep.
And somebody on the internet today was like, I know one thing, if they would have hit that button when Joe Biden was on it, he would have took every opportunity to try to sprint up the stairs.
Joe Biden was always running.
Always running upstairs.
He would have took this opportunity like, the rest of the
right. Exactly. He was
great
always
shape.
running.
Who's not in great shape?
Yeah, the person that is shaped like a melting lollipop. I mean,
outside of him,
he had his team.
He went up there and, like
turned
I said,
the escalator off. That
was conspiracy number 1.
That was 1. 2 was him getting up and saying, and they don't even have the teleprompters working. This building is so run down. And I can't believe that they've been trying to embarrass me
the building he was trying to buy and got rejected.
And he went on a whole
and then he wanted to get
blubbering rant
about
this
and not get and the renovations or whatever else, all because he couldn't get the work or couldn't get the contract for it. So that was him trying to throw shots at that because he's a petty personal toddler, and that's what he does. So those were those 2 things, and the UN also came out and was like, not that fast, motherfucker. Actually, his team was the team that was operating.
Y'all don't know we got cameras every fucking where. This is the United Nations.
Yeah,
right.
So that
is the incompetence that
along with that
we're
dealing
with. Correct.
Absolutely, just an embarrassment. I won't even go into all the details. We've just touched on enough bases of how he
covered the highlight
on the world stage. And during his rants and talking about all the things he's accomplished and blah 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 that are pure lies.
He falsely claimed that he ended 7 unendable wars.
Yeah, but 2 of the people were there and they were laughing and joking. But it's like, maybe we should call him and thank him. It didn't have anything to do with us. Ha 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 ha. And they were laughing with Mark Cohn. So that was just another little note. But also at the UN was BB war criminal Netanyahu.
God.
Who can't get into most countries, but Trump let him in here.
Right.
And so he came and
gave a speech.
Well, he got up to give a speech, and when he started, everybody else, for the most part, most people got up and walked the hell out.
As they should.
And as they should have, as he continued to spout all the blubbering stuff, not to mention, he already dog-walked Trump and said they were going to do this ceasefire, and then before he even left out of the White House, changed 21 different things on there by himself. So all the other countries that were engaging in it were like, we're not doing it.
That's just so disgusting.
But it's not what we're going for. It's not what we're going for.
Like you.
And it was like, if BB steps foot in any part of our country, we will arrest him with all of the force.
Good.
And then also during that UN meeting, they had some people come in for photo ops with BB. A lot of whom were very young influencers that were taking pictures with them, who Israeli government is now going to pay between $6,000 and $7,000.
Oh, I read that.
To put out positive propaganda on Israel all over the internet.
Yeah, well, they've been doing that.
No, this is the new one
thing
that's out in the open about them offering American influencers $6,000 to $7,000.
American influencers.
$6,000 to $7,000
Israeli.
per post.
Oh yeah, that's
host.
That's not
So
surprising.
yeah, that was that. But also in UN's the Trump's embarrassing UN speech to the General Assembly, he threatened to totally destroy North Korea. Not to mention he could have potentially started a war with the information that we found out about that secret secret mission that failed, where they just murdered some random fishermen and still didn't plant the device in North Korea back in 2019 that we didn't know about until now. So
I didn't know about that until
just now.
right now.
oh yeah, that came out in a unclassified document or something got released.
Of course,
but in
it did.
2019, he sent like the SEALs in to plant a listening device into North Korea. They ran into some fishermen that were like in the water with their rod. They murdered them and then they stabbed them in their lungs so their bodies would not float, so people wouldn't find them.
What?
Which could have caused a war, but I guess he's figured
That sounds like a Tom Clancy novel.
Let's threaten them now. And that's actually I was trying to find the link to those articles too.
So we won't release the Epstein files, but we will release classified documents pertaining to a
violations in international waters.
I mean, the violations of international waters are out of this world.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
One woman actually was like, my husband was a fisherman and that was his boat and you all blew him up.
Right.
So there goes that. BB really, that was the start of his week, but they're also still threatening the people who were I think a 50 boat or about 50 boat flotilla.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The Samud flotilla, which was approximately 50 boats. I believe all except one were intercepted in international waters by the Israeli Navy, which had, even though the flotilla originally was being escorted by the Navy of Spain, once they got a little closer and they were getting more of the threats from the Israeli Navy, the Spanish naval sources said that they would be there to like help people rescue and just kind of be there for help, but they weren't going to defend them against it. So they were able to keep going, but the Israeli Navy ended up using water cannons and a few other things against the boats. Most of them, they went ahead, they boarded, they seized the people, they seized the boats. As far as I know, a lot of the boats that they seized, which should be showing up to one of the Israeli docks, which is where they're sending the ones that they've taken. They've taken people and they're
holding them.
Yeah, they're taking all the people that were on there. They said they were holding them until they send them back to Europe, but we don't know, until they send them to Europe. I don't know when or where that's going to be.
Right.
I do know that Turkey has called this an act of terrorism. And has labeled this an act of terrorism. Also, South African government is asking for the return of their citizens, including the grandson of Nelson Mandela, who was aboard one of the
I saw that.
Wow. That's in conjunction with many other countries that were involved who have citizens that were involved.
And Greta Thunberg was on another one.
Yeah, she
recently.
was on the first one.
Again.
Yeah. So most governments are asking for their people to be returned and safely, ideally.
Yeah.
But also protests erupted in several countries around the world.
Especially Australia. I saw a lot of images from Australia.
Yeah. I mean, Turkey, they were in the streets. I want to say Germany, they were in the streets. I want to say somewhere in Europe, they were actually like blocking train tunnels and standing on tracks. So it was very much so. Although this is still a developing situation,
but it seemed like almost immediately there were protests.
Yes, because people have really been following this, and there's trackers for this, so people can watch the tracking online.
They were live streaming. I think.
As far as I know, there was one boat that wasn't intercepted. They're still sailing maybe toward Gaza, but they aren't in. I think they aren't close. They aren't close enough to like where the Israeli area is. But I guess we'll find out what happens with that one. And so, we're just going to keep them in God's prayer. And they are doing Lord's work, trying to bring people.
I mean, can we just give people food?
Well, I mean, the irony is that Israel
baby
said,
formula.
Well, they're trying to say they're not
bring it here.
There's no food.
And we'll distribute it. And it was like,
no.
But why? But that's the thing. Israel's like, well, if you want them to get it, bring it to us, and then we'll check it and we'll distribute it.
No.
But you can't say that when you haven't distributed things, also when you're saying that Hamas is stealing it, but it's not Hamas because you're not even giving it to the people. So, and even the people there are protesting. So
yeah, I have some Jewish friends who travel to Israel quite often, and when they go, they protest. They protest the government. There's quite a few Jewish people in Israel protesting.
It's most of them. A lot of them.
Not quite a few. That's what I mean. There's a majority. Like he is the equivalent to our Trump.
Yeah, trying to stay out of jail.
Well,
for committing crimes, because that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening.
All right. Well, before we get into all the bullshit that happened while we were on our little break, we have a cocktail because we have to. Jen, what did you come up with for us this time?
Well, as many of you know, fall is my favorite season.
It's mine too.
Yes, I know.
Fuck summer.
Yeah, I'm not a summer girl.
I like it.
It's too hot.
I like to wear my bikini. I like to be on the beach. I like to grill.
I don't like to sweat.
I enjoy summer.
Me either. So I love a crisp fall breeze. I love, I think fall fashion is always my favorite season.
Break out the Ugg boots.
Season for fashion.
Mm-hmm. Break out the Ugg boots.
You said follow that.
Break out the sweater. Sweater weather.
Fashion. She said Ugg boots.
Did you say fashion or fascist?
Fashion.
Okay, I said Ugg boots.
I know.
Yeah.
They're comfortable.
It's a fall staple, but I
y'all know how many Ugg boots I have in my closet?
It's a staple.
They are comfortable.
No, they are.
But they're not the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about
it's
fall
a lifestyle
fashion.
for me.
Correct.
I think
Absolutely.
of like a thigh-high boot. Like a good
riding boot.
Yeah.
Good.
Something you
I
can't
have cowboy
wear.
boots too.
A good cardigan, a good trench,
Depending on where you at, cowboy boots could technically be all year round.
Yeah, they are for me.
A good slouchy sweater. Good. Yeah.
I need to get my slouchy sweater game back.
Yes. Do a little off the shoulder with it too sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But no. So today we're drinking an apple cider margarita.
Yeah.
And because I
Cheers.
have the pleasure of sitting with these two mixologists here, I kind of gave them the basics and they ran with it. So ladies, I'm going to let you all tell how we came up with this beautiful fall drink.
Jasmine made the sour mix.
I squoze it.
With her bare hands.
And I said squoze because I believe that's
I made the apple cider with my bare Instapot. And
how does one make apple cider?
You take apples, you put them into the Instapot for 30 minutes, I think.
And you peeled them first, of course.
No, I didn't peel.
Really?
I just cut them up. I just chopped them. I have the little apple slicer, and I did not peel it. It did not say to peel it, so I just figured that.
Get all that good flavor in there.
Yeah, I figured they added a little bit of flavor. So yeah, the Instapot, and then at that point they're like mush already, and you can take a potato masher and mush them a little bit, and then strain them through like a mesh strainer or like cheesecloth. If you have cheesecloth, you can squeeze the apple. But if you have, I used my sifter actually because my other mesh strainer wasn't big enough. So yeah, and I just I was sifting flour and sifting the apple through, but it came out really good. It tastes like better than you. It's because groceries are so damn high. I find myself like making a lot of shit.
Correct.
Myself, I'm like, well, you know what? I have apples.
Right. We got food at home.
I made the Chipotle salad dressing better than Chipotle's.
Really?
I need some.
You know, Chipotle, they released the recipe.
Did they? Because I looked up a copycat recipe a long time ago. But
no, they've released it's on Chipotle's website. It was some like challenge or like campaign where they were like, if we do this something, then we'll release the recipe. And I made it better than Chipotle's.
I would love to make that because I always make my own vinaigrettes anyway.
So we do have Chipotle at home. I made everything. I made my own pico de gallo. I know you make a good pico.
We will fix that.
Pico de gallo.
What you call it?
Gallo.
Pico de gallo.
The two L's in Spanish are pronounced like a Y. Pico de gallo.
Okay, my bad.
We can't let you mispronounce Pico de Gallo during Hispanic Heritage Month. Not the same week that Bad Bunny just got announced to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Touche.
Mexican, but it's Hispanic.
Touche. Well, speaking of Mexican, we used some very good tequila in these very good cocktails.
Yes. Only the finest for us.
Right, exactly. Usually you're not supposed to put Casa Draconis tequila in a cocktail because it's that good. But, hey.
I was going to say our saving grace is that we did a shot first, so at least
that's right.
You got to taste it
first. You know, so
it's delicious.
We imbibed it the recommended way, and then we zhuzhed it up a bit, or zhuzhed our.
Not y'all glad I called for them shots?
Jasmine and I got a bottle of this from my friend who decided to get married in Mexico. And she gifted us, and I just couldn't help it. I had to open it. I didn't want to, but I had to open it. Casa Draconis, if you're like Casa Amigos, I don't know her. This is the shit right here. Yeah. So if you're looking for something a little fancy, so cheers to the. So what are we calling this? You can't just call it an apple margarita.
We're not falling for it.
We're not falling for it. Ah, I love it.
Because that's what we not going to do.
We're not falling for the lies and your fascist regime.
Regime.
Sorry. Regime.
Well.
Regime.
What aren't we falling for?
I'm going to tell you what we're not falling for. For one, we're not falling for deployments in our U.S. cities. We're not falling for the military being used against citizens, which brings me to, I think, right around the time we took our break. That was when Trump went ahead and declared a crime emergency in D.C.
Oh, my God. Yes.
And federalized the D.C. police force. And as we saw...
tried to take over the courts. Or isn't that when Janine Pirro took over as AG?
Yes.
It was right then. And then she's like, these are all criminals. And she had the bulletin board up of all black men.
Cannot. I think around that time, too, isn't that when Trump made that statement, or September, about they're just born to be criminals? Like, all of this rhetoric.
Yes, that's what he said. Yeah, that was in August.
And violent. Yeah.
Yeah, Westmore pushed back against that.
He did.
That was
a powerful statement on social media.
Just...
so
what hasn't happened?
Yeah. So then, we saw ICE. Well, I think it started with the National Guard. Then we saw ICE agents and ripping people out of their cars. Just terrorizing.
They were having checkpoints everywhere.
There were,
building, and there was one held up in the middle of Georgia Avenue.
So I have a friend who works for DC Public Charter Schools, and she was saying there were like 4 checkpoints in front of their school. Like,
oh my God.
In front of like almost all of their schools. Yep. That's where we are.
People over on the
Very
highway
sad.
check IDs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, right. Because didn't the Supreme Court, that was one of the things that happened while we were gone. The Supreme Court basically said it's okay.
Oh, yes. The racially profile.
To racially profile. So when considering someone's status or assuming, it's okay.
To arrest them or to...
By far is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Well, it's also...
One, because
I guess it's also unconstitutional.
Exactly.
It is unconstitutional, but I mean, if we were going to apply it to a group of people, saying like we're going to just arrest all Latino people look a range of ways. And when I say that, I mean literally from blonde hair, blue eyes.
Right.
You have people
very white
out of China
and very black,
are Hispanic,
yeah,
who live in these countries. You have people in every mix, from the lightest to the darkest, everything in between. So technically, anybody who looks like we don't think you should be here because we feel like it, we can just pick up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you happen to speak Spanish, bonus.
Oh yeah.
Or just accent, period.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, the federal takeover of DC was kind of the first foray into like consecutive taking over of cities that have been run by Democrats. But I think DC is very unique in its status as not a state, and a lot of the governance of the city still lies within Congress. Like they have to approve or they can overturn laws that the council pass and that are approved by the mayor of the city. So the federal government still does exert a lot of power over DC, which is why it is like very scary for people who live in the city, and why it is so important, and why lawmakers and activists here in the city have been calling for DC statehood for so long.
I mean, we already have higher populations than a lot of other states.
Which several, I mean,
and we feel the effects.
But Democrats should have got this done. Like they should have gotten this done when they had control of Congress. I mean,
well, yeah, they should have done a lot of things. Codify abortion rights.
I mean, I'm just also, we got to remember that during that time, we did have a couple of the not so Democrats.
Right,
true.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true.
I wonder how they're feeling, because neither of them, especially thing one and thing two, Mansion and Cinema, they used to hold up everything.
It's like made a lot of money off of doing that, so I'm sure Mansion's looking just fine.
I mean, so did Cinema. Whatever. Sure no reason to talk about them. They're not here.
Well,
anymore.
Maybe now.
I doubt.
I hope they're at least thinking, maybe we should make this a priority, because if DC became a state, we would pretty much, Democrats would have control of Congress.
That's
why they
won't. Absolutely.
Have not done it, because they would have two senators.
That's right.
Let's not forget that they've also hold up millions or billions of dollars in DC's fund, because Congress has the last say over how we spend our money and our budget, even if we vote on it. And we still pay some of the highest federal taxes as well, some of the highest taxes in the country. That's the thing about the home rule. DC, although we had the ability to vote on what we like for our own council, to have our own budget, Congress can step in at any time and be like, no, I don't like what you're going to do. And we're going to be like, no. And that's what they've done. Kidnapping quite a bit in DC's budget.
Which we're seeing in other states. Cities, blue cities, where National Guard and ICE have been deployed. And also some of these cities have seen funding stripped from them as well, like Chicago. The school system, Trump has rescinded funds for the school system in Chicago. Because they refused to get rid of their Black Student Achievement program. And these, I think, were also pre-approved funds. I know Maryland, I have educators, friends who, were also affected by some of those cuts that he made, I think, on a broader level from the Department of Education. I have close friends who work in Baltimore, just talking about how the schools had to go into like emergency adjustments for that money that they're not going to be getting.
That they're not getting. Wow. Yeah. It's just fucking everybody's shit up.
Well, I think today they just, yesterday, they just announced that Trump's now for trying to withhold funds from New York.
From New York, New York,
which is very dangerous.
His hometown.
And money from the NYPD, which is biggest leg of anti-terrorism, because they have the most people in the streets.
Exactly.
Right. And they were talking about how they're going to withhold money from that.
Yeah.
And he's also withholding funds from infrastructure projects.
Yeah.
Which is also extremely dangerous.
The bridge the tunnel that they're building between Jersey and New York, he took the billions of funding for that. This is New York City. And it's not just a assault on the people of New York, the people who commute in and out, the people who live there, the people who do business there, but the entire country's economy.
Exactly. Economy.
And so, because you're so petty,
you have a petulant child that throws
running the country. It's not just New York, or not just DC, Memphis, Tennessee, New York, Chicago, because there's some crazy shit going on in Chicago now.
Yeah.
And what's it called? Operation Midway Belt or something like that, I think is the name of it. Since he sent them there, the most egregious thing that I've heard so far, I think, might have been the incident from last night. But prior to that, they had ICE officers in full uniform in the dozens marching down streets to intimidate people.
Yeah. Chose these stupid shows of force.
Yeah, just to like intimidate people, like walking through their streets. Last night there was an apartment complex, I think a high-rise apartment complex in a Black neighborhood in Chicago that ICE went to, saying they had like 4 or 6 warrants for arrest of people that they believed were from a Venezuelan gang. Quote unquote, but they literally entered that apartment building and then proceeded to enter people's individual homes by breaking down their doors without warrants, ransacking their homes, zip tying them, zip tying their children, separating them, having the elderly as well. All being zip tied outside for at least, I think, 3 hours or at least up to 3.
In the middle of the night, too. So people were in there.
Some people were naked.
Yeah.
Some people were naked, let alone unclothed. Kids
They
were
said
crying. And they separated them. From what I saw that they separated Black people and people that they presume are Latino in the back of 2 different U-Haul trucks.
Budget rental trucks. Yeah, but I saw
They've been using both lately.
Budget U-Haul trucks, correct, were used for this. And there was even one gentleman who was interviewed by the local news station in Chicago, and he was saying one of the worst things he saw was that they forced a woman to bring her baby out into the street naked and wouldn't even allow her time to cover her baby or clothe her baby at all. And so she's literally, it's freezing.
Yeah.
And you're bringing your child out into the cold. It's just inhumane.
Yeah, and let's just make sure, because I don't think I said the name of the neighborhood. It's the South Shore neighborhood. And this involved over 300 agents from ICE, FBI, ATF, and other agencies.
South Shore? Isn't that where Michelle Obama's from?
Yeah.
On the South Side?
Well, I will say this while we're still on the topic of ICE.
Yes.
Other things that have come up in the news literally this week were one of which was an ICE facility in South Louisiana that has had several reports of physical, psychological, and sexual abuse toward transgender detainees. I believe this is a female detention center.
Oh, my God.
And they were said to be pulling people to do or work at night where they're earning like $1 a day, pulling them out to work those jobs overnight, forcing them into areas that are blacked out from cameras to sexually assault them, degrading them, forcing them to be like, you want to be a man, or you're really a man, aren't you? Forcing them to like push loads of cinder blocks from one end to the other just for fun and taunting them. Like I said, and it's been several, when people have reported it, it's been ignored or kind of laughed about or played to the side. There's actually a big paper trail behind that. It's been coming up in different news stories across the country as well.
Wow.
So that's just another part of the inhumane things that are going on.
Added to the list,
of
human rights violations.
Just good with one big human rights violation.
We're keeping tabs, okay? And then
longer than the CVS receipt.
I'm telling you.
That's pretty long.
I mean, I think this is the part where the chickens are coming home to roost, because we did it to a lot of other places for a long time and people didn't pay attention, and now it's happening here. But back on ICE,
then Memphis
had them arrive.
Another very
black city.
Very black city. Well, a city that has a very strong Black population in a certain concentrated area that just happens to be right next to that huge data AI center that Elon Musk built, that is literally, they try to say that they're not, emitting a lot of the poisonous gas. Like, they have unprecedented amount of reactors that are the things that generate the electricity. Like, they're just like little trailers. Like, they have to generate, because it's in the middle of the field right next to these people's homes,
and they need
they need water, they need in addition to all of the gas that is coming from them, that those cameras, those like drone cameras that can tell what like chemicals are coming up. And so these people are breathing the air. And of course, there are going to be health complications coming from that. And you would think that, we're making America healthy again, but no.
Not when it comes to
No, not at all.
And then also with that, there's been a lot of conversation while we were out as well, but a lot of people may not have paid attention just with what's been going on with the lawmakers, specifically like the Black and Democratic lawmakers trying to see what's going on with plans to build, I think, like a Tesla tunnel or something that they're trying to build in Tennessee, and they're being very secretive with the plans.
They're being locked out of meetings, meetings where
and that's what I'm saying. They're even being
that
locked
concern
out,
their
plans.
districts.
So all of these things, I believe are tied together, and not to mention their not to mention the other thing that's being discussed is that these data centers use up a ton of energy out of the grid.
Yeah.
And they are not paying for the energy, which is why the amount that people are paying is now exponentially getting higher because the people who live around these data centers are actually who pay for the electricity that they're using.
Yeah. Because they're getting all the benefits while the public is footing the bill of health, the bill of their own resources. He's literally stealing from the land. And he is not even from here.
Well,
oh, God.
Man, the fact that he was a white South African coming from the apartheid celebrating family, they used to steal it.
Did you see
resources.
That there was
That's true.
Similarly to this, related to this topic? Did you all see how they were trying to put the data center
in PG County? I was about to bring that up.
Yep.
And the people rallied they got the signatures, they showed up, and the city, the county, and I guess the state, whoever was making the plans to do that, they held off plans. And it's literally right up the street from here, right across from where the Commanders play. And they were that's also the place that they were trying to build the new FBI headquarters. It's like this old Landover Mall has been in talks to right. I had the Montgomery Ward, and I can't even remember what used to be there. That was so long ago. That mall, and it's like it would be nice to have something there. It would be nice to have something that is revenue generating. Now that FedEx Field or whatever they call Northwest Stadium is no longer going to be the home of the Commanders. They're coming home to Washington, D.C. Even though I'm not from Washington, D.C.
I'm very glad to see them.
I was very much so. I am too.
Me too.
Because what else has been defunct since the early 2000s is the RFK complex. Yeah. I've had this, I've had to have this argument with a lot of different people who aren't from here. They don't understand. Like, if you don't like football, that's fine. Like,
they've also never been to the place, and you can actually. There's fields around.
But I'm saying, like, it's a part of the city that builds community, and that's what they're heading. The stadium will be pretty much in Ward 7, and you have all of this space that is prime real estate. It's right on a body of water, and the only thing that you could actually put on it that could be as revenue generating and beneficial to not only job creations, not only housing, not only retail, bringing that kind of life back to this area is exactly what a city like DC needs. Absolutely. And there's nothing you could do to replace that.
Now, although we were just talking about RFK Stadium, but let's speak about another RFK that's much less exciting.
Oh,
like a train wreck.
Not that RFK.
The junior.
The other. His son.
I wouldn't take advice on how to get down the street from somebody who
sounds like that.
Right. Seriously. And I mean, we got to stop being so nice, because literally, why are y'all listening to somebody who sounds like that?
I'm just saying, if I saw a man swimming in Rock Creek's clearly infected water that they have signs up for telling you not to get in it, speaking to me like that about a direction, I would run. I would not take any advice.
Any advice,
absolutely.
Let alone health advice, let alone advice about how to take care of your children. So RFK has been very RFK Jr., who is the Secretary of Health and Human Services, has been busy while we have been out. The CDC is all in shambles after a series of resignations by some of the top scientists who work on vaccines and just everything that make people healthier, like public health and like studying and researching, like really things that we don't even think about on a regular basis because we don't have to, because they've been doing this work for so long and it's been working.
I'm like, he's
it's like
a whole expert panel, all 17 of them.
Yep.
He's like, bye.
Yeah. The top vaccine experts exited, and it's very hard to, even if you're not terminated, which is something that this administration has been doing, but it's very hard to like work in an area, be passionate about something that, and then have all of your research just cut, all of your research budget cut, all of your priorities like completely redesigned, and then on top of that have reports coming out and having to sign off on reports that go to the public that say, we're not going to recommend vaccinations for
the last woman left.
any. So yeah, that's why the CDC director.
Sign off on something I don't even know what it is.
Right.
You about to put out.
Right.
And so I don't even think they have a CDC director right now, because the one who he chose was like, wait, no.
Right.
I'm like, did you not read up on him before you decided to come on board?
I guess she got on board, but she was just like, he was like, she's wonderful. She's the best ever. She's just going to be so great at this. After he was like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's like, you just sat up here and said it.
So they have made controversial changes to the vaccine schedule.
The worst part about that is that what people don't understand is it's not just saying that it's not required or recommended or things like that. It also, when you make changes to vaccine schedule, it also changes what will be covered by providers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So if your shot would even be covered by a medical provider.
Also, another recommendation coming from the the administration was that pregnant women should no longer be taking Tylenol for headaches and fevers, something that can always lead to, if you have a fever, that's always indicative of something that's a little bit more serious. Mm-hmm. So Tylenol has for decades been acknowledged as the safest over-the-counter drug that you can take for a fever. And now the president has decided that acetaminophen is no longer safe, and pregnant
sounded out
people.
Yeah, he gave us
acetaminophen. Whoa, that's a big word.
Whoa,
it's Tylenol. That's how
Tylenol.
you figured out. Saw something that you recognized.
Acetaminophen.
Because
is that okay?
And the effects of that, apparently, according to like one half researched and not verified by reputable doctors or physicians, there may be a link to autism between pregnant women consuming Tylenol.
Which did they reference? Saying that somebody from Harvard said that could be a thing. They did not quote it correctly. And they actually said there is no causal
causation.
There's no causation or anything that we could link between that.
Right.
Exactly.
Not autism and Tylenol usage. They literally said in that, which was why it was extra crazy that they used that as a reference, because they distorted what it said, but it's like we could not find any causation or relation to say that this is something that
Tylenol use equals autism.
And what really pissed me off behind part of that was that it was dumb enough to get up there and say that. But to then follow it up by encouraging pregnant women to take ibuprofen when it is proven that ibuprofen,
that's what you're not supposed to
will
take,
actually cause birth defects and issues with your pregnancies. So
this is the same president that told us to drink bleach.
Tylenol is still safe or has not been proven to be unsafe for use while you're pregnant. If you have a fever, you do. Everybody can make their own health care
Tylenol's
system,
more safe.
and that's the thing.
No. Tylenol is more safe than getting a fever, a high fever,
Exactly.
while you are pregnant, which could
Yes.
cause issues and complications with your pregnancy. And if your fever get high enough, you could die.
Yeah.
Period.
And
even if you're not pregnant. So
Yeah, I touched on it briefly because this was part of the event that I attended with Angela. She discussed it. But that unemployment rate is high. Right now, we're hovering around 4.3% in August and September. However, as we know and feel, for African Americans, the unemployment rate is 7%. And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of those being Black women who have been affected and who have lost their jobs. And in September alone, the private sector lost 32,000 jobs.
Yes.
And they're constantly adjusting the job growth numbers.
For some reason, once you fire somebody, numbers just don't stop coming in. Data just keeps coming.
Right.
So now that we have the new data guy, he's now reporting the new data, which is that it's even shittier than we thought before.
Right.
All the numbers that we had before have been revised lower, and I think August's number
since March
they thought were like 54,000 or 34,000, and when they revised it, it was actually minus 3,000 jobs for the job market. So as we see it from minus 3,000 in August to what you just said, where we are now, 32,000 down this month. So where's October going to take us?
Well, it wasn't it literally his job to come in there and just magically make the unemployment rate?
His favorite
how are you failing at being?
I mean, the thing about it is that sometimes when you're an idiot, you don't realize that just because you killed a messenger doesn't mean that the message doesn't still come through.
Yeah.
Especially when the message is data that goes through several other checkpoints and hands.
Exactly.
Well, there's one way you can shut it down.
Responsible for reading it out. Shut down the government.
Yep. It's like, no, I still don't like these numbers.
Right.
Fuck it.
Yeah. I think they were saying since March, the jobs numbers have been revised down nearly 1 million now. It's like 914,000 less than what was originally reported since March. And also, we know that this is affecting, so if you're a young college graduate, you are the least likely to get called for the job because companies as they
it's called a recession. We all graduated in one.
We're in full recession mode. We gotta hope we don't reach depression mode.
That's exactly it. We're actually in a recession and they won't call it that. And so that's why, of course, Trump does everything he can to distract us from these facts and these job reports, but it just shows you that we have a slowing. Our economy is slowing.
If you're unsure where the economy sits, look at the value of the dollar. Has it gone down? Economy bad.
Yeah.
If the value of the dollar has gone down, I think about 10%.
It's shit.
Double-digit percentages.
Jesus.
Yeah. And America used to be
one of the highest currency
money around the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the rest of America knew that Trump might be on his way back, and that's why Russia and Brazil and all them started BRICS with China, and they were and India. They're like, you know what? We just gonna replace the dollar right now because we know this gonna fail. Because they acted this man once. If they do it again, he gonna run it into the ground and all the ways that he didn't get a chance to the first time that he said he wanted to. So hence the shutdown. Now they can fire all the people and do all the stuff with less people to watch him.
Yeah,
That's why he met with his boy. I don't know him, the author of Russell Vought of 2025.
Oh.
Remember, I don't know what they're talking about. I haven't heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
I've never heard of it. The far right.
What was the tweet?
I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of seeing the Republicans get up and lie, keep the lie alive every day about,
That's the thing. Once you start lying, you got to follow up that lie with another lie.
But it's just such a blatant lie that, it's just make it make sense.
It's just disrespectful to me. Because the amount of lying that they're doing and the way in which they're blatantly doing and playing in our faces and doing all this stuff, I just think they feel like everybody in America is either too weak or too stupid to catch either what's going on or to stand up to do it. So I just feel like it's disrespectful.
But you know what Republicans are really good at? They're really good at creating a crisis and then
blaming someone else for it.
And then blaming someone else and being the victim. And that's why they came out and spewed this lie about the fact that Democrats are trying to give healthcare to illegal, because that's that's what they ran on. Yep,
because we talked about
that's what they ran on during the campaign. That's what this
it doesn't matter. It's
mass
not true
deportation
anymore.
effort is about.
It wasn't true.
So it goes right. Well, yeah, you know what? We can just, but like, at what point do their constituents not get offended? Like, how dumb do you think well,
no, he said that they're stupid. So he said that they were dumb. So that's what they believe of their base.
Because for me, it's like, make it make sense. Like, how do you control, you know, the Senate, the House, you can literally the executive branch, the judicial branch, but yet now it's the Democrats' fault. Make it make sense. Explain that to me.
I just don't understand how you mad at the people that you ain't let do nothing and that really don't have the power to do nothing because they won't help you pull off the bullshit that
Period.
You wouldn't even communicate with them about. It's not like nobody knows when the fiscal year ends and nobody wanted to have a conversation.
And it's a little refreshing that Democrats are not just rolling over because, you know, they often acquiesce.
Very much.
Yes. And this is one of the few times that they actually have leverage to say, hey, we're not going to let you just trample over Americans' healthcare. Like, you need to bring something that we can actually negotiate across the aisle on and get something passed, but they're not even trying to. And then because they know that they can get in front of these cameras and just say anything, and their constituents will apparently believe them. However, I did see some promising reporting that showed that I think 47% of Americans do believe this is Trump's fault.
You said 47%.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That's not a lot.
It's a lot for them.
Oh, you're talking about 40%
of like Republicans?
Maggots?
I believe so.
Like MAGA Republicans?
Yeah, of like MAGA Republicans.
I thought like general,
like
everybody.
No. I think they were saying like how, because they wanted to know like how is this
that is a lot.
narrative actually landing? No, it's apparently it's not.
47% of Trump supporters.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about Dems. Like I said, like you don't want our input. We tried to come to funding bills before. You don't want to meet. You don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
you want to tell us fuck us and call us evil and everything else, and now you want us to then help you do shit?
You pass.
Like, no,
exactly.
We're not going to help you do it. I mean, and at least somebody is standing up for the constituents and red states who this actually affects, even if they don't believe it or if they don't stand up for themselves.
But yeah, we just want to be very clear, though, that the issue is that what Democrats are actually fighting for is because with that big, beautiful BS bill, whatever, tax credits were set to expire for those who are insured or get their insurance through the Affordable Care Act. And so if that happens, we will be, literally people will die. People will,
because it would be so unaffordable.
It would be so unaffordable. People would be
even
thrown
people.
Back off
it
of
would
their
be.
insurance.
It would be pre. We'd be living in pre ACA.
Yes. Yeah.
Like people were not able to afford health insurance if it didn't go through your job, and even the premiums that people are paying through their job are going to go up if they don't have those subsidies.
I think that's the messed up part. They're like, oh, well, we can deal with this later, and it's like, no, we really can't.
Right? Because that's what y'all told them
keep doing
during the big beautiful bill. Oh, we'll make sure because that's why that's how we got here in the first place. They said that we would revisit the tax credits.
Package if it wasn't for the issue. If they keep having to try to amend the stuff that they passed, and they're terrible. They're just trying to pass
because it's unpopular.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just hoping that by the time you realize it's unpopular, they would have stripped all the power away from you for you to do
anyway.
The military will be in your streets and then snatch you up.
Yeah,
pretty much.
How do you all feel about that? Like, how do Dems message this? Because I think for some reason Democrats seem to struggle sometimes with messaging, and so is it that? It's interesting that they're picking healthcare. I get it because it affects everyone, but I think you can also say, well, why do we want to fund the government that is literally terrorizing our citizens? Like, is this what we really want?
Mass firing people.
And you want
anyway.
Correct. Like, and so I think they often struggle between like, do we talk about other issues or do we just pick one singular issue that is going to I guess resonate with constituents. And I think you can walk and chew gum.
I
So,
think I just think for like when I hear people talk about it, because even a lot of the pundits are talking
'Cause
about what are the Democrats going to do? The Democrat Party is so lost, and how are they going to find their way? And I just be wondering to myself, I don't know how much of that is genuinely what's happening, or if that's genuinely what y'all ginning up. Because when we look at it, the Republican Party really has had no platform besides hate.
Right, exactly.
They can literally say a
Exactly.
whole bunch of nonsensical things and string them together, and
Lies.
nobody's literally.
They're called lies.
I mean, not even just lies, but I mean, just even the hot buttons that they try to pick and the way in which they try.
Oh, and all the
racist
racist tropes.
Right.
Yeah, but these things don't link together. Like you want to talk
exactly.
about
That's right.
transgenders in sports.
Anytime you bring up healthcare.
And
right.
then it's we don't want to pay for illegal.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What it is,
They don't stay on topic.
But they're not staying on a topic, and they don't even stay on the topic.
Exactly.
When they're on a topic.
Exactly.
So I don't think it's like Dems messaging. I think a lot of it has to do with messaging.
Yeah.
It's so complicated, and it's so hard, and it's so many words, and it's not
because it doesn't resonate. They don't think it resonates.
So many words.
It's so many
that
words.
literally is
so
what
many
they
big
said.
words.
Like, I think Dems need
They're
to
the elite.
simplify.
Yeah.
You're right. That is what people were saying.
But what I'm saying is that at what point
But I think they need to hone in on all of these
elitism
things.
somehow became synonymous with, like, I don't know, education.
It absolutely did. It absolutely
with, like,
did.
billionaires and people that actually live in elite
because
parts
that's
of
the
society.
only way that you get
No, it's not.
people to be on your side. Because usually people who don't know look towards somebody who does know, unless you discredit the people who do know, and then you can convince them that they're the enemy.
Yeah.
Discredit all the professionals.
I also think that this
experts, ban books.
Yeah. I also think that this militarization is an issue that would also reach across constituencies, because there are plenty of, I think, Republican-leaning voters who, or veterans even. I think that that's also something that we could talk about, because these are people who took an oath and they believe in that oath, and they do not agree with what Trump and Hegseth are doing with our military. So I think that while I get it, healthcare is important and it is going to affect a lot of, especially rural America. Yeah, it's going to affect everyone.
Yeah.
The fucked up thing about it is that what really people don't understand is, like, to them to tell you that they're not going to do it now and they're going to do it later. Open enrollment is in November. Whatever whatever premiums that they have now, I think will leave in December.
But that's also
so
too, like
it will at least double or triple for some people in certain cases.
And the Republicans have literally given the Democrats no reason to believe that they will keep their promise or word of, we'll get to this later, we'll deal with it.
Right. They said they were going to have this conversation when they continue, because the big, beautiful bill was a CR, a continuing resolution. They said they were going to have this conversation in October or in September when the funding expired, when they had to have a budget conversation again. And now they're kicking the can. And then Johnson, I think, said something like, well, they are the ones who didn't want to come to the table to negotiate another 30 days to fund the government for a couple more weeks to push this can further down the road. And so then that's when Johnson made the decision that no Republicans were going to be in D.C. when they on September 30th, the day before the day that the government was set to shut down at midnight. And so, you have a situation where it's like, well, we're not even going to show up.
Exactly.
No, Dems were all there. They were there.
And the Dems were all there ready to vote whether to do right, because nobody was funding the staff.
There was nobody funding for the staff. It was a school from the Bronx that came down, and she decided that she found out that they couldn't get into some of the sites. She gave them a tour. She was their tour guide.
Yeah. All right. So when the government shuts down, we've gone through this a couple times in the past decade or so. What happens?
So started with some of the most important things, because I think about my parents every time the government shuts down, because they're tired, and so a lot of people want to know, are you going to receive your Social Security checks? So recipients will continue to receive their Social Security and SSI checks. And the Social Security Administration will continue providing limited services like issuing Social Security cards and holding appointments for benefit applications. However, they'll stop activities like benefit verifications, processing overpayments, and like any sort of customer service that you normally might call or go in person and need. It's just going to be extremely delayed. Medicare, Medicaid, and disability insurance will be largely unaffected by a shutdown, lasting less than 3 months. Current beneficiaries will continue to receive their benefits. So SNAP and WIC, which is also a huge concern. So the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for women, infants, and children, WIC, will quickly run out of funding and be unable to provide food for children and parents in need. In the case of a prolonged shutdown, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, benefits may also be affected. So
I eat food stamps.
That sucks. What will the impact on veteran services be? All veteran affairs, medical facilities, and clinics will remain fully operational. The VA will continue to process veterans' benefits. Military and federal retirees will continue to receive their retirement benefits. Processing new applications or other requested changes may be delayed. So do federal employees keep working during the government shutdown? That's kind of like a yes and no. It depends.
A lot of them have been furloughed.
A lot have been furloughed. So for those of you who maybe are outside of our DMV area, the government classifies its employees into 2 categories. And one is, I don't know, I always say exempt, but it's accepted, and or not accepted. So if you're accepted, you're required to work, but you're not getting paid. And then if you are not accepted, you go home and you're furloughed. And so those are the people that Trump and Russell Vought are trying to
permanently
terminate from their positions.
They're trying to hold America hostage by threatening to fire them if the Democrats.
And then they're going to blame the Democrats. It's like the Democrats are the reason you lost your job.
Exactly. However, if a resolution is reached and federal government does go back to work, they are required to be paid retroactively. So, and that's typically what's happened in the past. Now, how will this affect military personnel, federal law enforcement? In previous shutdowns, all active duty, guard, and reservists on active duty orders were accepted and therefore are required to work. On-base, non-acute health care ceased, but off-base care provided through TRICARE, which I'm not familiar with.
TRICARE is one of the insurance companies that had it.
Yes,
I had military insurance for a long time.
Yeah. So those, I guess that type of care was not impacted. On-base childcare was open on a case-by-case basis. Federal law enforcement was also required to work. Both federal law enforcement and military personnel will not be paid until after the shutdown is over. Will the mail be delivered? Yes. U.S. Postal Service is not affected. Commercial air travel. In prior shutdowns, air traffic controllers, transportation security administrators, the TSA officers, Customs and Border Protection agents remained on the job. However, like all federal employees, they will not be paid.
Right.
And so this is to Jasmine's point.
Please give them some grace when you see them.
Exactly.
And also,
and the lines might be long because people might not be coming to work.
I mean, what we can all pray on, honestly, when it comes to TSA, is that they do what they did last time and start mass calling out of work, because that's the only reason that ended.
Exactly.
Last time they ended up shutting down once people started mass calling out.
That's right.
And nobody could go nowhere. And it was during the holidays.
Yep. That's right.
Fingers crossed, guys.
Yeah. So also the effect on small businesses. Obviously, the Small Business Administration stopped processing new business loans, such as through the 7A and 504 programs. However, SBA's disaster loan program continued regular operations. So we'll see how that goes this time around. Ugh.
A lot of this stuff is subjective to whoever's in charge,
and this is run by Trump's cabinet, so
exactly
we cannot really go off precedent of I believe what
that's a band of misfits.
I don't think that the shutdown will look like. I don't think that we can get any solace or thinking that this shutdown will be like previous shutdowns.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the big impacts will be to HUD, so Federal Housing. The Federal Housing Administration in previous shutdowns stopped issuing some new mortgages, and the Department of Housing and Urban Development stopped processing some new loans.
Well, there goes your housing crisis.
But boom.
Right.
The VA will continue to guarantee home loans.
Oh, good.
So, okay, visa and passport operations are fee funded and
Very true.
Not normally impacted by a shutdown. And there are some departments within the federal government that are also fee funded, and during shutdowns, they continue to be operational. However, immigration court cases on the detained docket should still be processed during the lapse.
Of course, they're not going to stop immigration.
Oh, of course not. Nothing's going to stop that. While non-detained docket cases will be reset. Of course, reset for a later date when funding resumes.
That's a lie. They're going to be in them courtrooms. They ain't rescheduling nothing. They're just going to pick you up.
Correct.
Disaster relief, because there's 2 hurricanes currently in the Atlantic.
We missed the hurricane season. This one ain't want to play us.
So FEMA staff will still respond to emergencies, and prior shutdowns, long-term projects were delayed due to a lack of funding in the disaster relief fund. We've already seen
just
some
count
of that.
FEMA out for this.
Yeah.
They ain't had them responding to stuff.
That's right. That's what I was just going to say.
But that goes is like the government was already inoperable. Like, why?
So, oh my gosh, I think food safety is a huge area that is going to be,
which is also it's also already the FDA has been bullshit.
I was like,
So
Trader Joe's and I think Whole Foods or Walmart,
Right. So your sort of typical food safety activities are definitely going to be delayed if
furthermore.
That's the ones that they didn't cut.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever was still working.
So let's
National
see. Tax
Park.
refunds, forget about it. Like
first of all, if you don't have your tax refund by now, you ain't getting it.
Late with the taxes.
That's lately. You might as well just
National Park Service too.
File next year. Well, no, but the monuments are open, right? For all you people who don't come to DC, just don't come.
Don't.
Well, they will likely remain accessible. Remember before they actually had barricades at the stuff over there. They actually had a barricade during shutdown. So it should be. Don't mean it will be.
Also be impacted by a lengthy shutdown.
But I thought the Smithsonian's released something on social media that said in the event of a shutdown.
Federally funded.
Yeah, they're going to still open, or they're going to be open, I guess, to the extent that they can be.
Yeah, until they don't have the money to pay the people.
Yeah, so it might be open.
Partially privately funded.
Call ahead.
Many services and facilities could be impacted, including visitor centers, educational programs, restrooms, trash collection, road maintenance. There will be limited emergency rescue services.
Anything that requires people.
Yeah, that part. A functioning government.
There requires people in the park.
So please keep this in mind. Like Sue said, call ahead.
And to do something, column, because that's how we like to end it. What you can do, especially while this shutdown is going on, is harass the hell out of the people that that your tax dollars are paying. You're supposed to be representing
and who's still getting paid.
Yeah, so make sure you reach out to them, because I think their staffers are still there too. So you make sure you call people. Congress still gets paid. Hold them accountable. Call them. Call their offices.
Call them hoes.
Complain, write emails, make phone calls. And the reason why we're in the position we're in is because the people in the opposing party, no matter how small a faction and extreme, they make their voices known, and they're loud and they're relentless. Don't be loud. Call your people. Require that they work for you, because they do. Because democracies are by the people. And they work when we work. So it's best that we all get to work.
Hello.
All right.
In the meantime, if you know somebody who didn't vote, tell their ass to vote. I will actually be volunteering this Saturday at a voter registration drive, because it's never too early to get people to start, making sure
primaries are coming up.
There are primaries coming up. There are general elections happening in November. There's never an off year for elections. Virginia has their gubernatorial and legislative races.
So
we're happy to be back.
Happy to be back, breaking down the bullshit.
You cannot tell.
You know it. You know it.
Since the political board, because we gonna need a drink for this.